Welcome everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'd like to talk to you about 4 simple things that we can do to help improve our real estate business and the real estate market as a whole. And they're very simple, but I believe that we don't take them into consideration enough when we're talking to buyers and sellers and other agents as well. And that first thing that we need to do is we need to be transparent and share everything immediately. We get bad news, we get a low appraisal, or we have problems in the inspection. We need to be communicating with our clients immediately. I know they're going to be upset, but when they're going to be upset, that's when it's more important to share it as soon as possible and do not sugarcoat it. Share it as is. Or say we get bad feedback on the house, that we get complaints about the finish in the living room. And Mrs. Seller, she saw it on HGTV and she did it herself and she's so proud of it, but it's awful. And all of your feedback says that it's awful. But if I share that with her, she's going to get upset. She might be offended. She's going to be hurt. You're doing your clients a disservice if you don't share. The next thing that we need to do is we need to be the calming influence in every transaction. Our buyers and sellers are making a huge personal and financial decision. They're going to be emotional and they have every right to be. We as agents, however, do not have the right to be emotional. We want to fight for them. We want to do what's best for them. But you're actually doing your clients a disservice. If we're arguing with another agent about a technicality in a contract, or we're sharing with our clients, the other agent's being a jerk. He's being mean to me in the emails. And I wish he wasn't like that. That's only going to feed into the emotion of your clients. And that's not what we should be doing. We should be the calming influence. Far too often, I see a transaction where buyer and seller are so mad at each other, they can't even be in the same room at closing. How often do a buyer and seller actually speak to each other during the course of a transaction? Generally never. So how'd they get so upset? It was the way their agents were communicating with us because the agents got so emotional in transaction. Don't be that agent. Third, we need to leave great feedback. I know in this marketplace, your buyers, they finally find the house of their dreams and you've been looking forever because there's not enough inventory and we finally found one and we need to write this offer right away. There's this urgency because if we don't, we might lose out. And we forget to leave feedback on the other showings that we had that day. Or when we do leave that feedback, the feedback's very short. It's, you know what, the clients weren't interested in the house. That's hurting that other seller, the other agent. We know how important it is as list agents to get that good feedback so we can make our properties more saleable. You owe it to other agents in the marketplace and other sellers to leave great feedback. And finally, and I think this incorporates the other 3 things that we've talked about already, is we must be superb communicators. If you look around your office, I would venture a guess that the top producers are all superb communicators. That's the one thing that they all have in common. And a couple of things that we can do to be superb communicators is to check our tone. Too often we don't communicate face to face or even over the phone. It's via text message or via email. Before you press send on that text or that email, read it out loud. How does it sound? You might be coming off as being short or a jerk, and you're not meaning to be, so read it out loud. Check your tone. The second thing that we need to do to help us be better communicators is we need to actually communicate more often. Far too often, we talk to our seller, we talk to our buyer and say, hey, I'm going to look into that, I'm going to get an answer for you, and I'm going to call you tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, we don't have the answer. What do? Too often, we don't call. You need to make that phone call to say, hey, I don't know. I've done this and this and this, and I don't know the answer yet. So today I'm going to do this and this and that, and I'll call you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have an answer then. Far too often, I get complaints as a manager, my decade managing real estate agents. The most common complaint from consumers about the agents I managed was that they didn't communicate enough. I haven't heard from my agent. We need to communicate more. So I believe if we're transparent, we share everything with our clients, we be the calming influence in our transactions, we leave great feedback, and we become superb communicators, it's going to go a long way to making us better real estate agents and making the market that we work in that much easier. Thanks everybody. Until next time.